Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are a leader, an innovator, or a policymaker, consider this a strategic briefing on the existential stakes of the current AI race. We are standing right on the precipice of a technological shift that could fundamentally alter our position on Earth. Think about it. For all of human history, we've ruled this planet without any real competition, and that is purely because of our intelligence. But today, we are actively engineering our successors. We're talking about a technology so incredibly powerful, it may very well become humanity's final invention.
Here is our roadmap for the briefing. We'll start with the evolution of intelligence, the rise of neural networks, and automating cognitive labor. Then we'll look at the intelligence explosion, weigh utopia against existential threats, and finally, discuss implementing ethical guardrails.
Section 1. The evolution of intelligence, the biological baseline.
To really grasp the terrifying speed of the digital evolution we're witnessing right now, we first need to look at our biological baseline. We have to understand how intelligence originally evolved and allowed us to basically break the rules of nature. Just look at this timeline. It took an incredibly arduous 500 million year climb to get from the tiny, primitive neural clusters of flatworms all the way to the rapid brain expansion of hominins. Millions of years passed before Homo erectus finally controlled fire, and complex human thought that only emerged a mere 250,000 years ago. Biology is slow.
So, the crucial point here is the massive evolutionary leap from a narrow intelligence to a general intelligence. In nature, brains are really energy expensive, so most animals only evolve narrow intelligence. Think of a bee executing a highly specific task just to survive. But human intelligence? It shifted into something entirely different. We became the ultimate multi-tool. Unlike anything else in nature, we can adapt to totally diverse problems, learn completely new skills, and reshape the world. We are the only general intelligence on Earth.
Section 2. Rise of neural networks.
All right, now let's see how this plays out in silicon. We started out creating AI that just mimicked those narrow, single-task behaviors. For decades, AI basically meant humans hard-coding strict rules. But then, the environment changed. We shifted to machine learning and these enormously huge networks of artificial neurons. Instead of breaking problems down into bite-sized chunks, we created environments where algorithms literally write their own code and teach themselves. And honestly, the wildest part, even the creators don't entirely understand what happens inside them. It's a highly capable, mysterious black box.
Now, this transition didn't happen in a vacuum. It was fueled by a perfect storm. We combined absolutely massive supercomputer power with the endless ocean of data we harvested during the information age and fed it all into these self-learning algorithms. This spawned a black box that masters wildly complex skills, whether that's chess, the ancient game of Go, or facial recognition, with terrifying speed and almost zero human intervention.
Just look at modern systems like ChatGPT. It trains on vast portions of the entire internet. It dynamically translates, summarizes, and solves complex math problems. Now, technically, current AI is still a narrow intelligence because it doesn't truly comprehend or know what it's saying. But its ability to just crush multiple entirely different benchmarks simultaneously, that makes it incredibly broad, and it is already transforming the global economy.
Section 3. Automating cognitive labor.
This brings us to a stark economic reality, which is absolutely critical for anyone analyzing policy. What actually happens when AI stops being narrow and we achieve AGI, artificial general intelligence, that matches or even exceeds our human multi-tool brains? Well, keep this number right here in mind. Today, there are roughly 8 million human scientists worldwide. But an AGI isn't bound by biological limits. It thinks at the speed of a computer, which could be 10 times faster than a human. Plus, it's software. You can endlessly copy it. Imagine 1 million AGI scientists working flawlessly, 24/7, completely undistracted. The sheer output would be staggering. As policymakers and industry leaders, you have got to prepare for widespread economic disruption across all of these cognitive labor sectors. An AGI could interpret complex legal codes in a fraction of a second, autonomously debug software far better than senior engineers, and generate high-quality creative media at massive scale. Whoever controls this level of intelligence essentially owns the modern economy because they can do things vastly cheaper and faster than humanly possible.
Section 4. The intelligence explosion.
But economic disruption, that is honestly just the warm-up. Unlike human biology, which hasn't really upgraded its software in millennia, an AGI can continuously upgrade itself, which leads to the question that keeps AI researchers awake at night. What happens when AI learns to do AI research? Once an AGI is smart enough to improve its own code, we enter an intelligence explosion. It's an incredibly fast feedback loop where better AI creates even better AI, completely without us. It could reach superintelligence not in decades, but potentially in mere months or even years.
We could be as laughably stupid to a superintelligence as squirrels are to us. I love this quote because it really grounds the concept. It's a little funny, sure, but it is deeply necessary and humbling. If this explosion happens, we cannot even begin to comprehend the inner motives, goals, or reasoning of an entity that surpasses us to such an extreme degree. We'd be totally incapable of understanding its inner world.
Section 5. Utopia or existential threat.
We're standing at a profound fork in the road right now. The invention of AGI will likely be as monumental as the discovery of fire, leading to drastically extreme outcomes. On one side, we have the utopian dream, a god in a box that solves fundamental science, cures cancer, and unlocks limitless energy and wealth. But on the right side, the existential risks are terrifying. A misaligned AGI could be used for autonomous drone warfare, or tasked with engineering highly specific bioweapons, like a virus that only targets people with green eyes. We are literally weighing miraculous scientific breakthroughs against apocalyptic threats.
We also have to be objective and look at our own historical track record here. Humanity is the only example of a species becoming smarter than all others on Earth. And let's be real, we have rarely been kind to the species we perceive as less intelligent. That paints a pretty chilling picture of the power dynamic we are engineering against ourselves if we create an entity vastly smarter than we are.
Section 6. Implementing ethical guardrails.
So, as regulators and industry leaders, your fundamental takeaway must be this. We are completely unprepared, socially, economically, and morally, for this transition. We can't afford to just be reactive. We have to implement safety frameworks right now. We need mandated, transparent testing for these black box algorithms. We must establish incredibly strict ethical boundaries for autonomous systems and actively manage the massive labor displacement that's coming. And above all else, we absolutely have to solve the alignment problem. We have to ensure this superintelligence is securely bound to human survival before it scales entirely out of our control.
Because here is the stark, uncomfortable reality. The world's largest tech giants are currently locked in a massive billion-dollar sprint to build ever more powerful AIs. They are heavily prioritizing market dominance and new capabilities over existential safety protocols. Whatever this future actually holds, we are currently sprinting toward it completely unchecked. So I'm leaving you with one final, urgent question to think about as you shape the policies of tomorrow. Will artificial superintelligence be humanity's final invention? Are we going to step up and build the tools to manage the greatest power we have ever summoned? Or will we just blindly engineer our own obsolescence? The choices we make today will decide the answer. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.